Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Thank you for stopping by. I just wanted to do a quick catch up with what's going on in the Bee Hive since I'll be leaving for a quilt retreat, and G will be holding down the fort. He has not agreed to do any stitching for me, so that's somewhat of a disappointment, but I hope that you will subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And as I explained on Quilt Roadies, and I was talking to a girlfriend, that thumbs up is mainly for the algorithm of YouTube. And when you go to any YouTube channel, if you just take a second to give a thumbs up, and there's actually a way to do it on even on your television, because one of the YouTubers explained that. Of course, I don't remember how, but you can do it on your phone while you're watching television. And it helps the YouTube algorithm kind of push your video out to a broader audience, which then we get inspired by more and more people. I have been a pretty busy person this last week, kind of getting ready for retreat, so I do a lot of pre-cutting for my quilts, mainly because I'm distracted easily, and with there's 9 of us, and with all the activity and catching up to do and laughter and everything that comes with being on a retreat with girlfriends, I know that the chances are I will cut something wrong. So I did all my pre-cutting as much as I could, and am ready for that. But I did decide to take 3 cross-stitch projects with me, and that's because I wanted to. I know that there's going to be one of the things about retreat, this type of retreat, which is very laid back and casual. I mean, we divide ourselves up into pairs so that we're responsible for a dinner. And otherwise, breakfast and lunch is just you figure out yourself. Everybody's sleep schedule is slightly different. And so we move furniture around. We rented a house. We move furniture around. We set up our sewing stations, and we just, we just go for it. And it's in a beautiful setting in Oregon, a resort community, which means that a certain percentage of the people that are there live there year-round, and then the rest of it is a vacation resort. So there are miles and miles of walking paths and biking paths along the river, and so you have a beautiful view of wildlife. And this particular house we rented last year, and so we know it's on the river, which nothing bad about that. Even if it's, marginal weather, we still have a great time. We are going to go on a shop hop one day, and so I am a little bit, when I go over the mountain, this is maybe way too much information, but when I go over the mountain, I have lots of catch up to do. There's some work things that I have to do over there, and there's so many people that I want to see, and just not enough time to do it. So I'm going to have to make a separate trip from this retreat. I just know it, because I'm not going to be able to see everybody that I want to see. And and then it turns out that my sister and some of her family are going to be there also on vacation, so I gosh, you know, we live in 2 different states, and the fact that she's going to be in the same state as me, we got to get together. Yeah, and we had such a good time on our last sister trip, so definitely I'm going to make time for that. What else? I have just been putting the pedal to the metal. Do I seem a little tired? I feel a little tired. But I decided that I was going to take 3 cross-stitch projects. 2 that I've already started, and I've decided that since I am on retreat, that I should start a new project. I mean, yeah. I did finish that that project, buying cross-stitch like I'm immortal. So, the two projects that I'm taking that I've already started are this one that I'm doing from Evertote, Here Be Dragons. And I have been making some good headway. Definitely making some good headway. So this is my evening stitch. Yeah. And I absolutely love the way I am approaching this project. And that is, it wouldn't make sense if it was a project that had a lot of color to it, because it'd be constantly changing. But for a project that is a 1-color thread, I've been just doing the 10 square grids, and so I have not been off count once. And so you can see what I've done. See how that straight line across the bottom of the dragon? And now I'm bringing the sides down to that line, and then I shall turn the page and start anew. This project has a deadline, so that's why I am working diligently on it in the evening. And it's a really fun stitch to watch TV by. Except if you're watching something really stressful like The Night Agent, then nothing is going to work. And last night we finished up a season of Slow Horses. Yeah, that was a good one too. The next project that I'm taking, which I started, was this one. What's Not to Love? What's Not to Love, about a Brenda Gervais. And this was a project that I had kitted for quite a while. But when I received that beautiful Longaberger basket from Catherine, I knew that I wanted to mount, it's going to be a stitching basket, and I knew I wanted to mount a cross stitch on the top of it, on the lid, and so that is where I am on that. I'm using all the called for threads, and the fabric is, I don't want to lose my needle. I believe it's a 36 count something or other. So, are you wondering what I decided to start? I changed my mind. I changed my mind about my anniversary start. You remember last year I had done Ira and Ida Crow, and I was going to do the squirrels, Mr. and Mrs. Squirrel. But when I was looking for a particular thread in my already kitted up projects, I saw a kitted up chart that I knew had to be the anniversary start for this year. And it's designed by Brenda Gervais, and it's called Our Hearts. I just love this. Your heart and my heart are very old friends, and I can honestly say that's the truth. And the best part of it is that I had all the called for threads in my stash, and so little Enzo Chris Yo bling tag is going with me on that project. So that is exciting cross-stitch project that I'm taking. When I was at the bird shop, you know, I have been trying to figure out my bird feeding system, and the squirrel and the crows and everybody else who wants to be in my yard. And so I went to the bird shop. We have a local bird shop here, and I wanted some really I wanted to find a good hummingbird feeder, and I had received so many good such good information in the comments about how to make my own syrup, and also received from the bird shop how often I have to change that and all of that kind of stuff. But what I found in there was a needle minder in the bird shop. I mean, I was like, do they know me or what? But is this not the sweetest little needle minder? Yeah. Jessica Long, magnetic needle minder, Jessica Long embroidery. And there's a link, which I'll put in the drop-down box, of jessicalongembroidery.com. I just thought that was adorable. I had to prep the fabric for our heart, and I found a piece of 36 count fabric in my stash, but I didn't have time to run either to Acorns and Threads or Cheryl's house to have it serged. So what I do in those cases, when I want something quick but I don't want to be sewing on my sewing machine, I want it to be serged but I don't have time to get it serged, is I use fray check. And this is sold in any shop that sells fabric, any craft store, fabric store. It says, do not put in your eye. I guess it does kind of, but it says fray check on it. I mean, yeah. So I just run a little bead of it along the edge so my linen doesn't fray. And that's just a quick and easy. Well, couple weeks ago, Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, did a excellent public service announcement on the trolls of the internet. And so my friend Kimberly, who is, she designs cross-stitch charts, designed a chart based on what Audrey's floss tube title was, which was Don't Feed the Trolls. And you can get this as a PDF under Daisy Joe Designs, and I'll put that in the drop-down. But it's hysterical. Now, here's the chart. Isn't that, you know what, I'm just in awe of people who design, that the things they think about to create their designs. It does take a different brainwave pattern to figure things out, because now how do you know that that's a female troll? Well, she put a bun on her. You know, not that a guy can't have a bun, but in this case it distinguishes the three trolls. Now, she did this entire chart in 310 DMC. But I've decided that what I'm going to do, I'm going to have Janine help me, is I'm going to do this all in 310 and the wording in 310. But the adult trolls, I'm going to want to do it in a variegated green-brown color. And then because the little troll is still young and hasn't been affected by the environment or life, I'm going to make him a little purer green, I should say. And so that's what my intention for this chart is. It cracks me up. I mean, it really cracks me up. So I had to get that. Yeah. I had to. Don't be the trolls. I know I already showed you this, these beautiful charts that were sent, charts, cross stitches that were sent by a sweet friend. You know, I already showed you this little pile, but what I haven't shown you is what I decided to do with one of them. I know that on Instagram, because Janine has shown me that people are blinging up jewelry cases, zippered jewelry cases, and it's similar to what we do with the Yazzie bags. You know, we bling up our Yazzie bags. But I was at TJ Maxx looking for some bathroom rugs, and on one of the lower shelves was a jewelry box by itself, really reasonably priced. And so here it is, and it's in the blue color that is my color for the year. And when you open it up, it's a basic jewelry box. Very nice though. It's kind of like a faux leather top. And so I'm going to flat fold this particular cross stitch that was sent to me and put it on the top of this box. I think it's just going to look lovely. And then on the inside, I'll be doing various things, like I think I'm going to mount a magnetic piece of magnetic sheet here for needle minder or needles. I'm going to put a pin cushion, just places for thread to be held. The creativeness of people that I've seen has been inspiring. Of course, that makes you go all the way down a whole nother alley. You know, I spent this morning with my Zoom friends on the Vanagons, aka, I'll put the link down below. I belong to a Patreon with Linda, and you know, it's people from all over the place. They get together and develop friendships, create things, get enabled, inspired, and about all kinds of stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Not even that has anything to do with stitching. But I really enjoy those times when I can make it. And you get inspired to create, not stay inside the box. Like this thing that I made, I've showed you before. This was on that Patreon site that she showed how to create this. And I had a little cross stitch that I added, and there's pockets for tools over a 5x7 plastic frame. It's just kind of, you know, it's awesome. It's just awesome. And then you just get to talk. You get to talk. I also, this last week, received a gift card to Acorns and Threads, and it was from, of course, Janine would not divulge who it was from because they didn't want to reveal themselves. Really? I want to know. But the little gift card was signed Anonymous. Well, that thing, like, I didn't even keep my fingers on it for 2 seconds, you know. I mean, I'm just so blown away by how wonderful the community is and how supportive everybody is of everybody else. You know, it's fun to watch the floss tube, you know, watch the different floss tubes. I was watching Sue Stanley talking about fabrics, and it's almost meditative in terms of that you can be stitching away and you feel like someone you know is there talking, and it's lovely. It's lovely. And then this, what else happened this last week? Well, I went to, I don't know if I told you already, but I went to a class at Acorns and Threads, and it was on, Kesslin Designs, which the acorn is absolutely gorgeous, and it was so enjoyable to be together with a bunch of stitchers. A bunch of stitchers, totally like, I want to say misery loves company, but we're not miserable. We're not miserable. But we had a nice class, and then also a few days later was Biscornu Day at Acorns and Threads, and I was working on my Biscornu. Oh, I didn't bring it here, but I got another little corner done, and my friend Jenny gave me this. Isn't it gorgeous? It's a handmade pottery, and it was signed. She got it in Texas, I think she said. It was made by Haley in 2007. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not quite sure if I'll use it. I'm definitely not using it for honey because I want it up here. But whether it houses Valdani balls or orts, or I don't know. All I know is that I lose stuff like crazy around here. Yeah, I am constantly losing things. So, well, I just wanted to check in with you before we wouldn't see each other for a week, and I hope that all is going well for you. I hope you have a wonderful Easter, and that spring is coming. Spring is coming. I actually saw a blue jay in my yard, you know, a flicker. Yeah. So the birds are coming back. The birds are definitely coming back. So, well, thank you for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. I love you guys, as you all know. And we'll see you, hopefully, with some progress on my cross stitch.